unrealliving.com. We're just outside of the fresh markets here in Trang, Thailand. Beautiful, beautiful morning here, and just going to indulge on some beautiful, beautiful, delicious champidak today. I've got, I think I bought seven small champidak for 80 baht, which is just under $3 Canadian or American. So, topic for today's video, what are we going to be talking about today? We're going to be building upon, so I did a video with a quick little snippet at the end with the idea of fuck it, let's do it. So what I want to do is I just kind of want to build upon that video just because I just kind of quickly did it in a few minutes. So the idea of fuck it, let's do it is a very, very powerful kind of little mantra that you can use in order to just kind of release yourself from the outcome of people's negative social pressure on things that you actually want to do in your life. So it's really, really kind of powerful if you're constantly, if you live in a reality, which I have for pretty well most of my life, is that you're constantly always worried about what other people think about you. You know, whether I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do that, and you're constantly worried, like, oh my god, like, what are these people gonna think about me if I do that, right? Like, oh my god, right? So it's one of those things that just kind of like releases you from that outcome of doing things that you actually want to do, right? And just kind of taking that negative social pressure and just, you know, pushing it aside and then just doing it regardless. So feeling the fear, so feeling that negative social pressure, and then doing it anyways. So even today, I was just like, you know what? I just wanna, you know, buy a bunch of champidak. So we bought a bunch. Well, mono champidak for almost the whole day. And then on top of that, I was like, you know what? I should go down to the market area where there's lots of people walking by and do a video talking about how to step aside from negative social pressure. So for me, this is kind of, it's not that much of a stretch for me anymore, but it's still a bit of a stretch. You know, I got people, you know, walking by and looking at me like I have 4 heads, and you know, so there's a little kind of maybe a little bit of negative social pressure, but it's not like people are coming up to me and telling me, oh, what are you doing sitting in the gutter right now talking into a video camera? Like, people aren't doing that. So first principle that you need to understand is that humans like to be like other humans, right? We don't like to step out from the crowd too much, and this kind of goes back into our biology and our nature of how we kind of evolved, right? So if you think back to the days when we would have lived in tribes, right? Say we're living in tribes where, you know, maybe there's only 50 to 100 people in our tribe, and basically we would have to follow suit, right? We'd have to kind of follow the ideas of the tribe. And if, say, we tried to step out from the tribe and we wanted to go on our own, we could be outcasted from that tribe. They could have just kicked us out and been like, you know what, you're on your own, get the hell out of our tribe. And that's kind of like where this fear is kind of built in, because if we were kicked out of our tribe, that would mean death for us, right? We would be basically just told to fend for ourselves, right, in the wild. Whereas if we just kind of followed suit and followed the ideas of the tribe, we'd have that nice kind of comfort and cushion within that kind of tribal place, right? So even once we finally actually kind of get the courage and we kind of get the motivation to actually kind of live the things that we want to do, actually go and do the things that we want to do, we're often met with a lot of negative social resistance and a lot of naysayers that are typically our friends and family. And you might think to yourself, you know what? Why would my friends and family, why would they start, you know, saying, you know, bad things or trying to hold me down at the level that I'm currently at, when I know inherently that what I'm trying to do is actually good for myself and I'm trying to better myself. So our social friendships and our social ties are very important to us. And so if one of your friends is starting to kind of elevate their life, right, like they're starting to take their life to another level, and you might not be so supportive of that, right? Because if they take their life to another level, they take their life in a new direction, you might actually end up losing that friendship. And that's something that we don't really want. We like to have lots of friendships. Like, having friendships and having love in our lives is really, really important to us. It's what, you know, is really, really kind of joyful in our lives, right? So it's not something that we want to see. We don't want to see our friends, our good, solid, you know, our best friends, our core friends, actually take on new directions in our life, in their lives, right? Because we might end up losing that friendship. And that's not something that we want to, that's something that we don't want, right? So that's one of those reasons why your friends are going to try to hold you at your current level for fear that they might lose your friendship. So now we have those two kind of basic principles. We kind of understand the mechanisms in our mind and the mechanisms within basically the social realm as to why these things are happening. We can actually kind of move past that. And so just by knowing those things, next time maybe one of your friends starts to say something to you about, oh, you know, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that, you can almost laugh at it in your mind because you're already aware that that's something like that is actually already going to happen, right? And so this is one of those awesome little just kind of like, you know, kind of life hacks in a way, is that when you know that something is already going to happen, when it does happen, it doesn't really affect you on an emotional level. So you might get really kind of emotionally involved and be like, oh my God, like John doesn't like that, you know, I'm gonna be doing this, and you know, and it might affect you in some kind of way. But since you already know that's gonna happen, it's not going to affect you. So just kind of finally bringing this all together so we understand, you know what, we come from a place, our biology, our nature basically dictates that, you know what, we are sponges and we want to have these social ties, we want to have these social friendships, and that, you know what, people are going to offer negative social resistance, and that is just gonna happen, right? It's just gonna happen. So when you know that these things are already gonna happen, it just kind of makes it a little bit easier. Makes it a little bit easier to take those steps to actually do the things that you want to do, and you don't have to fear that, you know what, I'm not gonna die or anything like that if I lose a few friends in my life. Because frankly, a lot of my old friends I just don't relate with anymore, right? Like our lives are in just totally different directions. I don't even talk to them. I don't really have much to talk to them about, unfortunately, right? But you know what? That's just kind of how it is. You evolve and you move in, you take upon new challenges in your life. All right, guys, I hope that has helped. I hope that we've kind of built upon the fuck it, let's do it mantra. Or another way of saying it, if you don't want to say fuck it, is fantastic idea, let's do it, which is actually the name of the YouTube channel of someone that commented on the last video. So fantastic idea, let's do it, fuck it, let's do it. It's great because what it does is it kind of relieves you of the attachment to the outcome of doing certain things, right? So I'm just like, you know, I'm in the street here, people are walking by, people are looking at me, I can kind of see that in my peripheral vision. But it's not affecting me on the outcome, because really, I really don't care that much if people here are, if people don't like me here. But anyways, awesome. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Peace out.